The 2022 Lexus ES is now here in Malaysia, and with it comes the latest facelift as well as the F-Sport version, which is here in Malaysia for the very first time. I've always thought the ES to be an extremely unique and interesting option in the executive car class, going against the Mercedes-Benz E-Class and BMW 5 Series. Here, it's even more so. So let's take a closer look. Lexus fans in Malaysia will be more familiar with the IS and the RX, but globally, it is the ES that has been the best seller for the Japanese luxury brand, with almost 3 million units sold so far. This is the facelift version of the 7th generation ES, but here in Malaysia, we've only had access to the last 2 generations. There are 3 variants available here, starting with the ES 250 Premium at 295,000 ringgit, the ES 250 Luxury at 330,000 ringgit, and this, the top of the line ES 250 F Sport, and this goes for 345,000 ringgit. That puts it slightly lower compared to the German competitions, that is the 530i and the E300, and that is despite this being a fully imported model from Japan compared to the locally assembled BMW and Mercedes. So in terms of pricing and value, I think this is off to a very good start, as it is extremely competitive. This being a facelift, the design changes are quite minor and quite subtle, but as is usual with Lexus, the beauty is in the details. Starting out with the headlights, this is a very familiar shape with this rather unique zigzaggy lines, but the headlight elements are all new. You've got the now signature triple LED Lexus headlamps, and the LED DRLs are now much sharper, much more prominent than before. But it's in the middle here which is the easiest to spot that this is the new facelift model, because this is the F Sport. The entire grille is now finished in black with a rather interesting L interlocking Lexus design, and the entire spindle grille is now covered in a rather fetching dark chrome finish. And while the whole bumper is actually the same between the F Sport and the standard models, the F Sport does get these bigger side vents for a sportier look overall. As a whole, I think you can tell this is a rather athletic looking car. An uncle car, this Lexus is not. The premium and luxury models get a more familiar vertical lines within the spindle grille, but now with less strakes for a more modern look. On the side, you've got fresh new wheels as well, 18 inches same as before for the lower 2 models, and bigger 19 inches for the F Sport. These are finished in gloss black for a more striking look, while the tyre options are also suited for the specific variants. F Sport naturally gets stiffer and grippier ultra high performance tyres, while the lower 2 get more comfortable touring tyres instead. At the back, the ES is largely the same as before, down to the lights and even the entire rear bumper. What's unique for the F Sport over here are the darker chrome finish to match the front on the middle here, as well as on the lower bumper as well. And of course, this rather chunky looking boot lid spoiler. I guess it does add a bit of visual drama to it all, but I think it looks rather, a bit off-putting, a bit aftermarket-ish. What I do like is the fact that this car looks good without having any exhaust outlets within the rear bumper over there. This definitely looks better than the fake pipes on the E-Class facelift. Moving on inside, the Lexus ES goes its own way rather than trying to mimic the German rivals like the BMW 5 Series and the Mercedes-Benz E-Class. And in that sense, that's a very good thing. In this class, in this price range, being different, being unique is definitely a plus point. And this being a Lexus, build quality is absolutely top-notch. Like in the German cars, especially the E-Class, if you look hard enough, you will find 1 or 2 offending trim pieces. With this one, no, not at all. Everything you can see, everything you can touch, it's absolutely brilliant. This is a premium car through and through. The biggest difference for the facelift is the inclusion of a brand new touchscreen input system over here. They've also adjusted the whole screen to make it better fit for a touchscreen input. They've moved the whole screen in front so it's a better reach position, and they've also angled the screen towards the driver by 5 degrees for a more engaging experience. First impressions is not quite the easiest system to use just yet, but we'll go into more detail in our full review coming later. At the very least, however, it should be a massive upgrade compared to the previous RTI or remote touch interface from before. This, at the very best, was distracting, and at worst, absolutely infuriating. Another big plus, this car also has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto support. Together with a touchscreen, that would be fabulous. Now on to the unique bits for the F Sport. As you can see, the interior can be had in this glorious flare red interior, but if this is too rich for you, you can also get a full black interior as well. The steering wheel is also different for the F Sport, but instead of the AMG line and M Sport versions where the wheel is of a different shape, of a thicker version, this is largely the same as a regular wheel, just with nicer details. Here it's perforated with a nice F Sport logo at the bottom. This is a very classy approach from Lexus. Another F Sport signature is the instrument cluster with the LFA style moving ring. This is a party piece that is still great for all audiences. The other variants get a much more subdued finish to match the rest of the car. These include wood trim instead of aluminium trim over here, plus a choice of either black or brown leather interior. All models get the same 10-speaker Pioneer audio system as well as a front sunroof. Now onto the rear seats, and this is where the Lexus ES shines the brightest. As you can see, space is absolutely fabulous. This is class leading in every sense. There's so much more space back here compared to the E-Class and the 5 Series. And then you've got the seats, which are so soft, so well padded. In comparison, they make the ones on the E-Class and the 5 Series feel like a park bench. The only drawback is that headroom can be quite limited, especially if you're very tall. I am only 167 centimeters tall, and sitting upright, I've only got about a couple of inches of clearance up here. I think if you're 6 feet and up, you might have to slouch down a little bit back here. But still, to be used as a chauffeur-driven car, this is the best in the business. But this being the more driver-focused F Sport version, it does lose out on quite a few creature comforts that's available in the luxury model. Number one, you don't have a reclinable rear seats like you do in the luxury. You also lose out on the center control pod over here that can control certain functions like the seats, of course, and the rear aircon vents as well. You don't even get rear sunshades on this F Sport, which is a bit of a shame. Now I do get the model differentiation. The F Sport is more for the driver, while the luxury is more for the rear passengers, but I think it would have been nice to have everything on this flagship model as well. As for the boot, the Lexus ES is considerably smaller compared to its German rivals. At just 450 litres, it's almost 100 litres down compared to the rest. It's still nice and wide, but it's a fair bit shallower to accommodate a spare wheel under the floor. You also can't fold the rear seats down like you can in the Mercedes-Benz E-Class. The ES facelift is unchanged under the hood, so here we have the same 2.5 litre naturally aspirated dynamic force engine. This makes 204 HP and 247 Newton meters of torque. So I know this is not a turbocharged mill, but this is not your regular 2.5 litre. This is a very modern engine. Compared to the Toyota Camry, which has a normal 2.5 litre, that makes a full 20 horsepower less. As for the transmission, this gets an 8-speed automatic sending power to the front wheels. Lexus claims this has the smoothness of a traditional automatic transmission, plus the direct feel of a dual-clutch gearbox. So we'll see about that. As for performance, the ES250 gets from 0 to 100 in 9.1 seconds, on to a top speed of 210 kilometers per hour. On to safety, all variants of the Lexus ES comes with the full Lexus Safety Suite Plus, the full works. This includes autonomous emergency braking, AEB, adaptive cruise control with low speed follow, stop and go function, active lane keep assist, active lane tracing assist. Everything you want is all in this car, and it's fitted to all variants, which is a big advantage compared to its German rivals, which only fitted to the top variants. Even in terms of passive safety, this is the next level up. It has no less than 10 airbags inside. It's got the usual 6, the 2 front, 2 side, and 2 curtains, plus 2 knee airbags for the front 2 passengers, plus 2 side airbags for the rear passengers. So this is class leading, and it is excellent. So that's our full walk-around video of the 2022 Lexus ES facelift here in Malaysia. We'll have a full review of this car very soon, so if you're interested to see how it compares against the E-Class and the 5 Series on the road, stay tuned for that. For now, first impressions are extremely positive. I think it looks great both inside and outside, especially in the new F Sport trim. And on paper, this shoots it right to the top of the class. So what do you think of this video? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching and stay safe, everyone.